Hello and welcome. This is part 2 of the Kentico 12 videos tutorial macros. So in the last video we have seen what are macros and how to use them. So today we are going to discuss what are custom macros. So in this video we are going to cover three things today. So what are how to create a custom macro, and second, when we will create another custom macro method where we will fetch some user details from the user table via Kentico API. Then we will see how to rewrite query string and localization macros via data context only. So let us first see how to create a custom macro via Kentico way. So in the custom macro, there is already an article given in the Kentico documentation where we can see where they have already provided all the uh, steps how to create a custom macro. So there are two ways to create a custom macro file. One is to create a class library project, which is already mentioned here, and the second way could be to create a class inside the existing solution only. So we are going to create a file first. So this is our solution. So it is very important where to create a file actually, otherwise your macro will not going to work. So for example, if you are using a web app solution, then there will be a predefined folder as old app code. So you need to create the class file into old app code only. If it is a website, then there must be a folder as app code. So you need to create that file into app code only. So we are going to create a file here, class file here as in the old app code folder only. Let's create a file, custom macro methods. So you can see we have created a file. Let's copy all the code from the article only and see how it will work. So I'm not going into the theoretical section. You can read all the theoretical things from the article itself. So I'm going to directly copy the code and paste it here. Custom macro methods. I'm going to remove that namespace. To remove that extra column. So you can see I have created a method as connection strings. This is the evaluation context and parameters. This is the standard for the custom macro, and they have used the switch case thing, and there are some cases created. And for the custom macro method, we need to define two things as macro method and the macro method param. These two attributes needs to be placed here. Now we are going to register it. So for registration we need to place those lines here as this. We need to add the namespace for register extension as well as cms. So you can see a file is created and the macro is also registered. Let's build the solution. So you can see our solution has been built successfully, and I've already refreshed the admin section. So it is, once it is refreshed, we are able to see our macro. So let's wait for this to get refreshed. So you can see this is now refreshed. Now go to the pages section and check if our macro is working or not. So to check our macro, it is already given here as result. Calling custom macros method is current user dot username dot connection string. So it should work something like that. Same. Let's go to the sample pages again. See what will happen. taking too much time. Let's go to the sample macro. Let's go to the design tab. Let's use this. Let's add it. Custom macro connection string. Current user dot username dot connection string. So you can see that our custom macro is working fine here. Let's save. Let's refresh. So you can see our custom macro is working fine. Let's create another method where I will be fetching the username email. I will pass a username to the custom macro method and it will return the user email from the user table. So for example, if I go to the users application, so you can see all those users are here. So if I pass a username to the custom macro method, it should return me some values from the user table. So I will going to return the user email. So let's create another macro method which I have already written in the background. So you can see I have already written a custom macro method. Let's paste it directly. So you can see the signature is same, which is as evaluation context and params. Let's add a namespace for the user info provider. So I have called user info provider to get the user details from the users table, and I'm going to return the email from here. I've also decorated it with uh, the attributes for the macro method and the macro method param. Let's rebuild it again. So you can see it rebuilt it successfully. I have already refreshed the Kentico admin. Let's wait for it to refresh. So you can see it's get refreshed. Let's go to the sample macro. Let's go to the design tab. So the method name of ours is get user data, and we need to pass the user name. Let's edit this. Let's copy this custom macro user data. So here our method name is get user data. So you can see we are able to access the get user data. Now we will pass here as Claire. Now save and close, apply. You can see that email has been returned as store manager at localhost.local. To verify that, go to the so here you can see clear as store manager at localhost.local. So you can see our custom macro is working. Now the last thing we are going to discuss as to rewrite the macros as data context only. So we are going to copy this. So we can also write this as data context way as get, so string method which is inbuilt in the Kentico, and we will pass the key here. Similarly, for query string, we have some predefined way as query string dot, and we can directly pass here as query string name, which is sample query string. Okay, query string dot sample. So you can see both our localization string and query string macro is also working. So for macros, you can also go to the console and go to the system, and you can also check the macros there. So in the system there is a macros tab, and in the console you can also find all the macros here, and you can also write and check the macros values from here. So for example, you need to fetch the uh, current site dot name. So current site dot display name. So you can execute the macros here as well. So you can see we have covered whatever we have discussed today, and in the next video we are going to discuss what are macro rules. Thank you for watching this video. Have a nice day.